we must emphasize to the young people that they have really done us proud. They actually forced the president to dissolve the cabinet of his choice. They forced him to withdraw the finance bill, even if still that is not clear what exactly is happening afterwards. But in other countries, when you withdraw a finance bill, you actually resign. They have gotten the opposition and the government to come together. Otherwise, if it was not their effort, these two groups may not have come together in the way in which clearly that they have come together. They have told Kenya that we must detribalize ourselves and be tribeless, and began to put in the mind of Kenyans that fundamental change is possible. They want a clean Kenya based on the constitution and servant leadership that works for all. We must emphasize to the young people that they have really done us proud, because there is an attempt to demoralize them, to make them appear as if all their gains have been in vain. And I think there is one of the papers where I saw their work being characterized as Pyrrhic victory, a victory without victory. They actually forced the president to dissolve the cabinet of his choice. They forced him to withdraw the finance bill, even if still that is not clear what exactly is happening afterwards. But in other countries, when you withdraw a finance bill, you actually resign. They have gotten the opposition and the government to come together. Otherwise, if it was not their effort, these two groups may not have come together in the way in which clearly that they have come together. They have told Kenya that we must detribalize ourselves and be tribeless, and began to put in the mind of Kenyans that fundamental change is possible. So I think we need to emphasize that these young people have done not only Kenya but Africa proud, and they are even being kind of copied elsewhere to bring about the fundamental change that we are thinking of our country and our continent. And listening to Samuel, he actually summarized that they want a clean Kenya based on the constitution and servant leadership that works for all. And that's a very simple message that I had him put on the table, plus also in their conversations and in these spaces that exist. And I think listening to Miguna saying that there has to be a sustained struggle so that the fruit that is expected is born. That is not inconsistent with nanenane, which is very robust. And then as it unfolds, there is work towards sustaining this struggle so that it achieves this result of fundamental change, because that's a very, very important point. If we do not uproot what has been there from colonialism and these 60 plus years, so that actually one of the things that should happen is to say, what is the Kenya that we want? And there's to be a space where that is thought through. We have all these, professors, activists, and economists, and whoever, political scientists, and everybody, so that we actually say that, like there was Vision 2030, this is the new vision. And if this vision is achieved, then there's going to be systemic change, and that becomes very, very, very important. And I think this minimum demands of the Gen Zs, when they said, drop finance bill, bring good cabinet, and all kind of stuff, they need to be concretized so that now there is something that says it is this, it is this, it is this, it is this. Not because that is the main point, but to be able to juxtapose it with what the president and his guys are doing to show that even those minimum demands are being kind of subverted. But that is also quite important. And I think as we conclude, there has to be now focus main demands, like implement the constitution, not mutilate it, because already we are hearing of another BBA, another NADCO, and stuff like that. That's a very important thing, because they are trying to look at how do they get prime minister, deputy prime minister, those positions, so that they can do their coalition now and share positions ethnically. So implement the constitution, not mutilate it. No more loans without our approval. And it was said that if people don't get money, the leadership doesn't get money so that it can, pay out to this opposition and so on, then it means that their maneuvering is restricted. So I think that is something that we need to focus on, and to actually focus on the civic education, especially rural Gen Z and rural populations. Also create a mentorship for the leadership like this from MCA, all these young people now who need to get into the leadership from MCA up to the president. We have a mentorship program, and I think that this debate, that this is not just a Gen Z movement. It is led and started with the Gen Zs in their totality, but it is Gen Zs and progressive forces. And I really like what somebody said about Gen Z zote, so that it is a GEN, ZII, and zote, so that it is who began it, and it is for all generations. I really like that. And finally, I think the Gen Zs must give the other generations the authority to be part of it, so that the other generations don't keep away saying that we think we are usurping what you are doing, so that when people are coming to participate, they feel that they are supportive, they are not usurping anything, they are broadening what has been begun by the young people, and then, so that the Gen Zs, the progressives, everybody feels that those who want better for Kenya, better for our young people and everybody, are comfortable to continue